Well, it's coming around again. The Boss Ironman Challenge here in the Philippines. This is an event I've been waiting to ride in for many years, and it's just never fit my schedule. But this time, it looks like it's going to fit. So I got my registration in, paid my fee. Now what? I guess now I need to get ready. First thing I'm going to do is make a few upgrades to my Royal Enfield Himalayan. I'm going to add some auxiliary lights and a new horn. I've been thinking about a new exhaust system as well to get a little more power. A few other little things just to make sure the bike is ready for such a long ride. You can't really tackle 1,200 kilometers in under 24 hours without some real preparation. Several of the riders I've been talking to mentioned that I should make sure to prepare myself even more than the bike. Make sure to get extra sleep, build up physically, and then bring a lot of water and non-carb food like nuts to eat along the way. Although I need to make sure the bike is ready, I especially need to get myself ready. The bike is great, but it's not going to keep me awake and alert. In other words, the bike can't keep me alive. So I better really focus on getting myself ready in those last days leading up to the challenge. That sounds an awful lot like life, doesn't it? What do you spend most of your time taking care of? Are you mostly focusing on the little things but never preparing for the big things, like what happens when you die? You need to make sure you're prepared for that, because nobody can help you. Jesus actually talked directly about this. In Luke 12, he told a story, a parable. The land of a rich man produced plentifully, and he thought to himself, "What shall I do? For I have nowhere to store my crops." And he said, "I will do this. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store all my grain and my goods. And I will say to my soul, 'Soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, be merry.' But God said to him, 'Fool, this night your soul is required of you, and the things you have prepared, whose will they be? So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God.'" Now, every one of us was born poor spiritually. We were born in debt to God. The Apostle Paul tells us this in Ephesians chapter 2. He wrote, "You were dead in the trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the body and the mind, and were by nature children of wrath, like the rest of mankind." So many people spend their lives trying to be rich in money, love, experiences. They do everything they can to make their future better. Go to college, work overseas, maybe they play sabong, investments, making right connections. So they plan and work hard. Does that sound like you? But do you ever think about your upang to God, the one who made you and loves you and gave his son for you? Utang na loob sa Diyos. Mahal. Hindi pwede. It's too much, really. In fact, Paul says in his letter to a pastor, Titus, God offers to have us not because of works done by us in righteousness, but according to his own mercy. That is why he said back in Ephesians 2, God, being rich in mercy because of the great love with which he loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, will make you alive together with Christ. So I'm getting ready for the Iron Man challenge. But are you getting ready to meet God? How about one last word from the Apostle Paul in Ephesians? He wrote, "For by grace you can be saved through faith. And this is not your own doing. It's the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one can boast." You can start getting ready for the next life right now by accepting God's gift of salvation. Isn't that amazing? We owe God a debt we can't pay, but he gives us a gift which is enough to fulfill our utang.